CRNA Financial Planning is a sponsor of Beyond the Mask podcast, investment advice offered through Private Advisor Group. Nothing in this podcast should be construed as investment advice. Plus, did you know listening to our podcast can earn you Class B credits? For details on how to submit, visit the CE credit section at beyondthemaskpodcast.com. Welcome to Beyond the Mask, innovation and opportunities for CRNAs and advanced practice nurses, with certified financial planner Jeremy Stanley and CRNA Sharon Pierce. Jeremy Stanley has worked with CRNAs for more than 23 years, and Sharon Pierce is a former president of the AANA and the NCANA. Join us as we leave the operating room and learn the latest in the CRNA and advanced practice nurse industries. Beyond the Mask starts in 10, 9, 8, 7.
Hey Sharon, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Welcome to Christmas, already upon us here.
Good heavens, how did that happen?
I don't know. A lot going on, and here we are recording Christmas Day to get this episode in, and we've got a pretty timely episode, I believe. Actually, this was your idea to do one on financial stuff for Christmas.
Yeah, well,
we're all spending it.
It is a financial hit, right? So we need to talk about it. So how is it at your house today?
Well, always excitement has built, and, Santa came, and kids are happy, and, it's all good at my house. Little eggnog makes things go even smoother.
I don't think I've ever had an eggnog in my whole life.
Are you serious?
I'm pretty sure I've never had it.
Huh.
I just drink wine.
Huh. Well, you'll have to partake, man. I'll remember that.
Yes, I've never had it. We are, of course, in Wisconsin, where it's very cold and a lot of snow. So it looks like Christmas where I'm at.
Not so much where I'm at. But
yeah. All right. So let's talk about finances.
Today, we titled this one a CRNA's Christmas list, and the 12 financial moves to end the year strong. And hopefully, some of these things will just be a review. Hopefully, the majority of our listeners who've been listening all year long, have done the majority of these things. But, I think it's something that would be a great thing if you haven't done it to make sure you're getting them all done by the end of the year.
All right. So the 12 gifts of Christmas. All right. What's gift number one?
Well, gift number one is, my favorite topic, Sharon, and that is maximizing your 1099 deductions. We teach the course through the 1099 Institute. We talk about this stuff all the time. So I just want to beat that horse one more time. Just remember, you've got till December 31st to get all those things that you're going to deduct this year outside of. Do you remember the one that you can do next year, Sharon?
Tell me. Maybe there is a little wine involved. No eggnog.
So the one deduction for next year is you can still do your profit sharing match in your 401k. You've got till tax filing deadline with extension.
That's right.
Do that. So I call that a relief valve. Really, outside of that, there's not much else after 12/31 that you're going to be able to do. So get those necessary items that you need now. That could be an ultrasound probe, a glide scope, new OR shoes, scrub hats, new computer that you use to keep up with your schedule.
Good thing I'm not at home. I've been wanting a new car.
There you go. New cars. Hey, home office stuff that you can use in your home office. So all those things that we all talk about throughout the year on the 1099 side, just be aware that you've got till December 31st to get that done. And after that, it's closed. It's done. There's no going back.
Now, wait, we kind of give ourselves an outline for these podcasts. And why is this on what I'm supposed to say? Please, for the love of everything holy, pay your accountant for that QuickBooks cleanup now so it counts for this year. Jeremy, why is that on what I'm supposed to say, knowing that I screwed my QuickBooks up this year?
I don't know why that's on what you're supposed to say, Sharon. For the love of God, please make sure you do
Listen, you're
that.
getting lump of coal from me for
Oh,
Christmas. All right, I think it's time we move on to number 2, retirement.
retirement plan contributions. We talk about this, and this is either on W-2 or 1099 side. Make sure that you've maxed out, that you've got your retirement contributions in for this year. Remember, W-2, everyone should be maxing out their 401k or 403b plan. The retirement system is skewed against high income earners, meaning if you make $300,000 a year or you make $30,000 a year, you can still save the $23,500 if you're under age 50 or $31,000 if you're over age
Why do they
50
do that?
because they want you to be able to catch up.
No, but I mean, if you make more money, you can't save more money. Oh, I mean, you teach us how to do that. I mean, I
Yeah.
understand, but
Yeah, there's some
something about
caveats.
that just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, well, they want people to save money but
Yeah.
that's just the way it is. I mean, there are some workarounds there as we talk about a lot, but at 1099, remember you got to get your employee portion in by year end. And then we got that flexibility around the profit sharing, but every CRNA should be maxing out their retirement plan every single year. In order to be successful financially, for most people, you need to be saving almost 20% of what you make.
Mm-hmm.
And as we just alluded from that little exercise a minute ago, if you're making 300,000 and you're 50, you can save 31. That's still right at 10%. There's still additional that's needed to be done to get you where you want to be. Just make sure you're on top of it. If you're doing, a little bit of locums on the side, you've maxed out your retirement plan at the hospital or the group you work at, just remember there's still some things you can do on the 1099 side as well. Talk to your financial advisor, your accountant about that. They can fill you in on that strategy, but make sure that you're doing that. That's number 2.
All right. Gift number 3, the Roth strategy. Talk to us about that.
Oh, yeah. So the Roth strategy, for those of you that don't know, the Roth out there allows you to put after-tax contributions away. They grow tax deferred, and then you can pull it out tax-free. So you say, well, why, I'm at my peak earning level right now. Why shouldn't I be taking that retirement contribution as a tax deduction, say in your 401k or 403b? Well, I think there's an answer there depending upon what your particular situation is, but none of us know what future tax bracket's going to be. And if we look at it right now with this massive amount of debt that we have, how are they going to pay for it? We're in one of the lowest tax environments currently than we've ever been in. We think tax brackets are going to go up. So having money that is never going to be taxed again, we think should be part of your strategies. Students, this is a great strategy that, not a lot of people talk about. If you're in school, and you're not married, you don't have a spouse that's making money, and you've got an old retirement plan out there, what a great strategy it is. If you've got $15,000, $20,000 sitting in a pre-tax retirement account from before you went back to school, remember, you can make up to $15,000 a year, meaning you could convert $15,000 of that plan for this year and $15,000 next year. You're going to be in school for 3 years. And you can do that. You put it away pre-tax. You converted it with 0 tax. And when it comes out, you pay 0 tax. What a great strategy.
Win, win, win.
Win, win, win. You should be doing that. That's another gift for everybody. The Roth IRA, Sharon, I'll tell you like this. If you put $20,000 today away, after tax, you could put that into Roth IRA. You did a conversion, and that grows to $300,000 by the time you retire.
Not by the time I retire.
Not by the time you retire, but by the time someone retires. Would you rather pay tax on $20,000 or $300,000?
Yeah, well, easy enough.
And that sizzle behind the Roth.
Can you gift a Roth?
You cannot. It has to be earned income.
Okay.
So if you've got someone, a lot of our strategy on the 1099 side is if you employ your children, they could potentially save in the Roth IRA because they have earned income. If they don't have earned income, you can't put it in a Roth for them.
Okay. I was just wondering about that whenever I can employ my granddaughter.
There you go.
There you go. All right, gift number 4, plan for refundable credits.
Yeah. So you remember sometimes with the tax code, you can actually make money off of these refundable tax credits, meaning even if you didn't pay tax, you could still get some back.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting, Sharon? Again, this is something that you want to check with your accountant, make sure you're looking at all the numbers, but some things like the American Opportunity Tax Credit, a Lifetime Learning Credit, Savers Credit, Child Tax Credit, Earned Income Tax Credit. If you have children while you're in school, you should be utilizing these things. I know a lot of students don't file a tax return while they're in school.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of them don't. They don't have to. They don't have any income.
Right.
But because of some of these credits, it might behoove them to file a tax return because they might end up getting money back and didn't pay anything in because there's zero income right now.
Yeah. That would work for couples, right? It's just somebody who's single.
Well, it wouldn't work for
Unless your
couples.
spouse is not working either.
Right, right. But I mean, it might work if your spouse isn't making that much and, maybe supporting you going back to school and so forth. It's something to definitely look into. I don't think a lot of people realize that you can actually get credits back even if you didn't pay in or you didn't
Huh.
pay much in, that you can get these credits back. So there's some other things we're going to talk about in a minute that make it even probably more enticing to do that.
All right. So gift number 5, prepare for the one big, beautiful bill changes.
A lot of changes with the OBBB. I know there's some people out there that hate this. I know there's some people out there that love that and some people that don't have an idea what this is. But it did make a lot of changes and something that you want to be very cognizant of. I know the ANA is all over this. I see it out on social media. One of the things that this bill did change was student loan caps for nurses. And before that, nurses, CRNAs were able to get a whole lot more in student loans than they're going to be currently because they're not considered professionals under the OBBB, and they're really enforcing this. So now in this scenario, CRNAs, SRNAs are going to be out there looking for ways to finance this. I've got a daughter going back to anesthesia school in May, and I was talking to her about this the other day. She's going to probably be able to skirt the rules because she's going to start in May. Actually, these won't go into effect fully until after June, but this will be the last cohort that will be able to deal with that. So if you're out there listening to this show and you're thinking about going back to anesthesia school and you're going to start after May of next year, you're going to have to figure out some financing strategies, save a little additional money. I'm thinking, Sharon, as you and I have talked about before, if this sticks, which it might not, there's a lot of press back on this right now politically. But if it did, there'll be some things that will come out of it that could be interesting. I know that a lot of hospitals are short-staffed and they have CRNA schools out there at their institution, but 10, 15, 20% of CRNAs that graduate stay there at the hospital. I could foresee this being a retention tool. That particular institution pays for their anesthesia school, and it's a forgiven payback over a certain number of years that you work at that institution. So I think there'll be some modified changes here, but, I think it's vital for people to understand that they did make some big changes with this year. There were lots of other changes. I just thought this was one that was probably the most controversial out there that probably needed to be highlighted.
Yeah, well, stay tuned about how that works out. And I know something analogous to that. You know how healthcare insurance by your employer came to be. It was used as a tool to recruit after World War II. So that's something kind of good that came out of a stressful time. So
yeah,
I'm not altogether sold that this is going to turn out badly.
Yeah.
All the way around. And, whenever I went to school, we didn't have options for these loans. You only did personal loans at the time. So we were counseled to save money for a couple of years before we went to school. There are ways around it. You just got to know what you're dealing with, just like what you said.
Well, and I think one of the big points here is, there are a lot of schools out there that you can get through the 3-year program for $70,000, $80,000 for the cost of the program. The problem is that for that 3-year time period, you're not working. So how do you live? Your living expenses. I mean, that's where this comes in. And if you've got a cap of $20,500 a year, just anesthesia school alone is going to run you 70 to 80. There's a shortage on that. How do you do the rest of the stuff? How do you eat?
Well,
Your
it's not
bills?
fair. They fund medical education through Medicare and they paid them on top of it. So this deserves a whole other podcast. I think we're making people aware at this particular juncture. But I'm
Absolutely.
sure this is a conversation that's going to keep on giving in 2026.
Today's show is brought to you by the folks at CRNA Financial Planning, an independent consulting firm that offers financial planning services exclusively to CRNAs and their families. From planning for a child's future college expenses to building a predictable income stream in retirement, the firm is committed to offering you comprehensive financial services, customized to fit your unique needs and objectives. If you have questions about your financial future, get them answered. Call the team at 855-304-3748. That's 855-304-3748. Or go online to crnafinancialplanning.com.
All right, well, let's go back to gift number 6, year-end bookkeeping for 1099s. Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
Clean up my butt.
Clean up your books. At the end of the year, you should have your books clean. Your accounts should be reconciled, all business bank accounts. Make sure that you've got your mileage log.
I do that.
Make sure that you've got all your receipts and everything. You can digitize and organize those. This is something that CRNAs hate doing. I can
I
tell
do
you.
mine all along. I mean, I've done what you taught me to do. I have my book and I take the pictures and I've got all my receipts. I do all that stuff. Now, my books might not look totally awesome.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have all that stuff.
Well, if you're doing it yourself, just make sure you're staying on top of it. If you have, a bookkeeper or accountant or someone doing that for you, make sure you get them what they need. Because really everyone should be looking right now at their year-to-date income, what their year-to-date expenses are, and what their projected taxes are going to be in April. Do not wait till April. Do not wait till March. Now is the time. I'm going through my own personal situation this week and next week. I'm planning, I'm looking at all my expenses, my books are reconciled, I'm looking at what I need to do between now and the end of the year, I'm looking at what I'm going to owe, yada, yada, yada. This is something that you should be doing. And if you're not, your accountant, your CPA, whoever you're working with should be helping you do that. The time to do the planning is not March or April. Every accountant is going to be swamped after February until April 15th. They don't have time for you. I'm sorry.
Mine does me. He loves me.
If you were in the middle of a case and your phone rings, you are not going to answer it, right? You're not going to answer it.
True.
Right?
That's a great analogy.
From February to April 15th, accountants, CPAs are in the middle of a case. They can't.
That's
treat
great.
you. They can't.
Luckily, mine does. He calls me all the time, but he loves me.
Yeah.
I love him too. But I
know
know how you are from February to April.
Yeah, and I'm being a little bit facetious, but and not that I don't answer calls. I do.
No, I know exactly what you're saying.
The time to plan has passed at that point. It's just at that point. It's just run the numbers and go with what you got. There's no planning there.
Well, you'll be happy to know I went ahead and paid my quarterly taxes for January 15th. I went ahead and paid them before I left for Wisconsin because I was afraid I'd get all tangled up and everything with the new grandbaby, everything. So I went ahead and I paid them.
Yeah. Yeah. Good job. Good job.
See, I am learning. All right, now let's go to review your W-2 benefits if you are an employed CRNA.
Yeah, so make sure you're looking at this. You remember your FSA, your flexible spending account, it is a use it or lose it, has to be used by December 31st. Make sure you're reviewing that. Take a look at it and make sure you're getting all the benefit there. Remember, if you've got PTO, how much will they let you carry over? Are they going to take any away? I'm sure most CRNAs are going to check this. But
We're
but
good about that.
you'd be surprised. So just it's one of those things that, again, some of that can be taken away at the end of the year. Checking your pay stub. Did I hit my max on my 401k, 403b? Do I have an opportunity to do the 457? Did I do that? Do I need to do that? It comes in my tax planning. Did I hit the max? 23,500 under 50, 31,000 over 50. Make sure you do that. Your FSA, buy those classes, get your contacts, first aid kits, whatever you got to do, spend the money because it's there. And, we want to make sure you're not missing anything along the process here.
Actually, I signed up for my new healthcare plan. Last year, it did not have FSA option. So this year I signed up and changed, or HSA.
HSA.
Yes, a HSA option. And my premium went up significantly anyway, but it was like $84 difference between the plan to have the HSA and the plan not to. So for me, it worked out to do that so that I could shuttle money into a HSA next year. That hurt not to be able to do it this past year.
Yeah. Well, the HSA is, again, another great thing to talk about here. But, they basically have triple tax benefits. You put it in there, it's tax deductible. It grows tax deferred. And as long as you use it for medical expenses, guess what? Comes out tax free.
And you're going to have medical expenses, all of them.
Here's another strategy, Sharon. This is something that a lot of people don't know about HSAs. We could do a podcast on this and talk about it. But did you know that you can save up your receipts for years and years and years? You let that money stay in there and grow tax deferred. Now you get to retirement age, you save up your receipts for 20 years, 15 years, whatever, and then you pay yourself back later on tax free.
Oh my gosh. Well, that is a great idea because I've been saving my receipts for my hormone therapy stuff, which is a significant amount of money. And I've saved all of those receipts. So I can, listen, you just gave me a great present for Christmas. Thank you, Jeremy. Thank you. All right. So gift number 8, evaluate contracts for 2025. Oh, and we just did our contract.
Back to your 1099 contract, what does that look like? Having somebody review that, I know that the ANA just signed on with someone that will review that contract for you for a couple $100. You might as well have it. I think, they're under the plan, Member Advantage. They've changed it 3 times now, but under the Member Advantage plan, take a look at that. Check your malpractice. Make sure you got the appropriate limits. Are your rates where they should be? You'd be shocked how many CRNAs out there 1099 are still working for $150, $160 an hour, Sharon. Shocked when the going rate is $2 to $250. Make sure that you're understanding those market trends and make sure that you're getting paid what you should get paid. Those are just things that at the end of the year you should be checking. It should be a checklist that every CRNA has, and check it off. Am I making what I should be making compared to the market? Have I had my contract review? Is my malpractice where it needs to be? I'm taking on more PEDS cases now. Do I need to let them know and up that? Making sure that your scope is clarified in your contract so that there's no misclassification under that contract. So a lot to think about there as well.
All right. Gift number 9, protect your family. Let's talk risk management.
This time of year, it's a lot about family. So, I thought that this would be a good one for us to talk about. Check, all your retirement accounts, your life insurance policies. Make sure, one, that you've got the right beneficiaries on there. Several years ago, I met a CRNA and he had a 401k plan and he was getting ready to get remarried. And he had been divorced, I think 7 or 8 years. Never changed his beneficiary. It was his ex-wife. Very contentious. And I looked at it and I said, do you realize your ex-wife still? He said, what? Gosh, I'd have turned over my grave if she would have gotten all that money.
Holy cow.
check those beneficiaries. Make sure they're set up properly. If you have children, should I leave my children directly? Should it be in a trust for my kids? Beneficiaries matter. I
They do.
mean, unfortunately, people die. We're never prepared. We're never ready for it, but we die. If you don't have the right beneficiaries in place, your state has a beneficiary policy for you called intestate succession. Intestate succession, I will almost guarantee you, does not say what you want it to say, Sharon. In North Carolina, our rules were written back when they viewed women as property.
Who's saying that changed a whole lot?
Tells you how much that, has been updated. So make sure you've got that in place. Check your disability insurance. Another one, if you're a W-2, please, please, please get a copy of that policy that you've got through your group or that you've got at your hospital. You're probably not going to be able to read it. But you need to know what it says because you guys are the goose that laid the golden egg. The golden egg is your income. I can go to work. I can earn my income. Well, disability policies are not written the same. They're not understood. Most people never look at it. Get a copy of it. Send it over to, either one of the groups at A&A Insurance Services or another disability provider. Have them look at it. Stick it in ChatGPT and ask it what it means and what it says. It does a great job summarizing. Not telling you that it's always right. It's not. But make sure it's on occupation, Sharon, so you don't have to go back and flip burgers at Burger King or go
Yeah.
back to old towels. The other part is, this is a great time of year thinking about family. As we said, people die. Make sure your estate plan is in place. Do I have a will? Is it set up properly? If I hadn't updated it in 20 years, it's wrong. I was talking to someone the other day. They moved actually from Virginia to Florida 7 years ago. And we were talking and I said, have you updated your will? And they said, no, we got a will. We've had it for, 15 years or so. I said, where were you living at? And they said, we're living in Virginia. I said, well, you don't have a will. Oh, yeah, we do. We got one. I just told you. I said, no. I said, because Florida state law is vastly different than Virginia state law, and it doesn't recognize your Virginia will. You got to have it done in Florida.
Holy cow. I don't think I would have thought about that. Of course, I'm not moving from North Carolina, so.
Yeah, I don't know. You
But
might go to Wisconsin one day. We'll see.
only for a little while, not during the snow season, But, speaking of beneficiaries, whenever my dad died, he had all of that stuff in place. And I learned a tremendous amount, and I went through and made sure that all my stuff was good. Because I was going to banks, and they were just handing me checks right and left because he had me as beneficiary. I mean, it was easy peasy.
Yeah. And those are things you want to get set up beforehand. I mean, if you've got a bank account and you don't have a TOD or POD, payable on death or transfer on death on there, that's a probatable asset. It gets frozen. Nobody can get access to it until the probate court signs off on it saying it can transition. So, make sure you've got these things set up, your power of attorney, your pull the plug document, your medical directives, so forth and so on. Pretty important stuff that nobody wants to think about.
But you've got to.
Are you a resident or CRNA looking to transition into independent practice? The AANA and Beyond the Mask are here to help you thrive as your own boss. Introducing the 1099 CRNA Institute, taught by Beyond the Mask host Jeremy Stanley and Sharon Pierce. This comprehensive educational series provides detailed guidance on business structure, legal and tax implications, and financial management tailored specifically for 1099 CRNAs. Enroll now and earn valuable continuing education credits as you chart a new course in your rewarding career. Visit aana.com/1099 to learn more and take the first step toward your new future. Remember, that's aana.com/1099 or click the link in the description of today's show. The 1099 CRNA Institute. Thrive as your own boss.
Let's go to gift number 10, charitable giving, and you will be happy that I donated to the foundation also. Before I left, I always donate in Emma Kate, my granddaughter that passed away. I always donate in her name. So I donated before I left for Wisconsin.
Yeah. Well, 'tis the season to give. Give to causes that are near and dear to your heart. You get a tax benefit for it as well. You mentioned the foundation, something near and dear to my heart. The foundation has done so many things to advance nurse anesthesia and acts as another arm of A&A to make sure things gets done. Wonderful organization. Remember, you can give directly to a charity, but if maybe I'm charitably inclined, but I don't have a charity I really want to give to today, you can set up a donor advised fund. And that is basically a fund. Say you want to put 10 grand somewhere, you want a tax deduction this year, you put it in this donor advised fund, and then you can name a charity or give checks out of it later on. You don't even have to give it right now. It just sits over there and
Wow.
draws interest or invest it. Bunching your deductions. I think, we talk about this on the 1099 side, but also the majority of the population can't itemize anymore. So if you can't itemize, giving might not help you from a tax perspective. So a lot of times what we'll do is we'll bunch gifting up so that it bumps you up to where you're able to use it. So if you were going to give X amount last year, it wasn't going to help you, but we can give X amount last year and X amount this year, and you'll be able to itemize and take it off in your taxes. So bunching those deductions up is a great idea this time of year as well. I think there's a lot of good organizations out there. A lot of people need help right now. Whatever you can do to help that's near and dear to your heart, I think it would be great, especially CRNAs who've been blessed, especially with incomes throughout the last few years. We've all seen go up dramatically. CRNAs are caring people, and I know they give to the organizations that they care about.
Well, gift number 11, the net worth review. That's what I have you for, because we usually do that in like January, right? It'll be coming up.
It's like anything else. Whatever gets measured gets tracked. You should be building your net worth along the way. You should be building your retirement along the way. And every so often, you should stop and look at where you've come from. And this is just such a great time of year to be able to do that. I know there's a hustle and bustle right now. This isn't something that has to be done by year end. But somewhere near here in early January, you should look, whether it's a computer program, whether it's a chart you keep in Excel, whether it's a handwritten note. Every December 31st, I put in what my net worth is and how it's grown. It's wonderful. That's just your assets minus your liabilities is your net worth. And you're tracking your progress. I say this all the time. I mean, being a CRNA is a wonderful, wonderful job.
I
But
would not disagree.
you would not do it for free. You go there for a reason and you get paid. You have goals, you have objectives, you have retirement, you have a children's education, you got that new Mercedes you want, you got the new house, the travel, whatever it is, it all is financially related. So making sure that you're tracking that is extremely, extremely important. And it's not hard to do. So that's just another one I thought was pretty important right now.
I like it. And gift number 12, set your 2025 goals.
2026.
26? Oh my God. Well, since we don't write dates anymore,
No.
I don't know what the date is a lot. And by the time I've gotten used to writing the next year, it's time to turn over to the next one.
Yeah.
So 2026. Wow. Don't you remember whenever the song came out, Party Like It's 1999, and you thought that was going to be forever?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Prince came out with that, in the 80s, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you were younger than me.
Yeah.
I was in my heyday in the 80s. So, but we thought, what's a song like that? That's forever. And now I wish it was 1999 again.
Don't we all? But yeah, I mean, I think goals, whatever you want to call them, objectives, kind of, again, just establishing where you want to be and what you want to do. A vision board, a roadmap, a destination marker, whatever you want to call it, right? Whether that's, new grads or students out there and that's paying down your debt and your student loans, or, maybe you've got a lot of credit card debt and you've got a mortgage and you want to be out of debt, establish those goals big.
Mm-hmm.
I that all the time. You'll be surprised how many times from those big dreams you'll hit this. Do I want to transition to 1099 at some point? What do I have to do to get there? Why do I want to transition to 1099? Is it because I make more money? They do. Is it because I want more flexibility? Maybe I don't want to work as much. Maybe I want to retire early, and I know 1099 gives me the opportunity to save a whole lot more for
Yeah.
retirement and a whole lot more in tax benefits. Maybe that's what it is. But, intentionality is what really matters there. Don't just drift. This is important stuff. I know we all have important stuff in our life, but think about it. You spend a tremendous amount of your life going to work. Tremendous amount. Okay. For most of us, it is more than a third of our life is spent working. Think about that.
That's true, but I love it. I just love it.
Well, you love it, but you wouldn't do it for free. And what you love about it is the industry, and you love about it the lifestyle that industry has given you.
Yeah, all of that. But I mean, these kids wouldn't roll over for what I made.
Not anymore.
They wouldn't even roll over in the bed.
Not anymore. But they're coming out of school with over $200,000 in debt as well, in 3 years instead of 2 years or 18 months for some people. So, we can compare and contrast, but there's hiccups for everybody along the way. So, Sharon, that was gift number 12.
Well, Merry Christmas. I hope people didn't get stressed out listening to this and go back to the eggnog if they drink the eggnog. I may have to try it this year.
Yeah. Well, we hope everybody has happy holidays, whatever you celebrate, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever else out there. We want to wish everyone else, a happy new year. As CRNAs, you guys carry the weight of others all year long. Whether it's the surgeons, whether it's your patients, whether it's political, whether it's your families, whatever that may be. So, at this time of year, slow down, give yourself the gift of peace, clarity, direction for the year ahead so that you can accomplish what you want to accomplish.
And with that, I think it's a wrap.
I think it's a wrap.
Thank you for tuning in to Beyond the Mask. If you enjoy the show and want to help us grow, the best way to support us is simple. Leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Share the show on social media and tell your friends. Your word of mouth is what keeps us going strong. We're proud to consistently rank in the top 50 medical podcasts nationwide and to be number 1 in the CRNA community. All thanks to listeners like you. Your support helps us stay there, and we couldn't do it without you. We'll see you on the next Beyond the Mask.
Hi, this is Jackie Rolls, President and founder of Our Hearts, Your Hands, a global support anesthesia community. We'd like to thank all of our prior donors and also say that we are accepting donations, welcome donations, to send a nurse anesthetist or even a nurse from a low-resource country to get further academic education or attend professional conferences or even equipment for some companies. Thank you so much for your support.